The following is a presentation of WGN Sports.
1989. Michael Jordan has won it for Chicago. Some say the Bulls championship run began in Cleveland. Now, 7.5 years later, the legend continues to grow as the Bulls head toward their 5th NBA title. Today's Cavs don't want to hear about what happened out in Richfield. These guys weren't even in the league 7 years ago. They're building their own future right now. And who's to say it won't start sometime soon with a hanging jumper? So take a moment to remember the past, but don't get too nostalgic. The Cavs have their own history to write next. The All-Star Game is still a couple of weeks away, but a few of the All-Stars are paying an early visit to Gund Arena in downtown Cleveland. The world champion Chicago Bulls take on the Cleveland Cavaliers. Hi, everybody. I'm Wayne Larrivee. Welcome to another edition of Bulls basketball on WGN. The Bulls come in off a tough win over New York the other night at the United Center. Meanwhile, the Cavaliers have stumbled a bit of late. They were just 1-3 on a West Coast trip recently completed on Monday night, and they're 1-7 overall in their last 8 games. Pleasure to have alongside Johnny Red Curry. Right, I mentioned the All-Star Game is going to be here in a couple of weeks, but I tell you, one of the shiniest All-Stars of them all was at his best the other night against New York.
It seems like New York really brings him up to an extra level whenever he performs against them. Here he is getting points 50 and 51 against the Knicks. He was outstanding. 51 points. He was 18 to 30 from the field, 5 out of 8 from three-point line. And is he Superman? Against a lot of teams, Wayne.
And especially against the Cleveland Cavaliers, we may expect some big numbers from Michael Jordan if his career numbers mean anything here tonight. Now, the Bulls also are going to get some help in the backcourt from Ron Harper, who comes in off the injured list. Won't start here tonight, but it's good to see him back.
Well, it's good to see Ron Harper back. Gives him an extra tall, big court man to help him out on defense. I had a chance to talk to Phil Jackson before tonight's game, and I said, Phil, can you tell us a little bit what to expect from these Cavaliers?
Well, this is a ball club that's going to put all kinds of pressure on the basketball. They like to front the post, so you can't throw the ball in. They like to overplay at the wings, so you have trouble getting your entrance into your offense. And they like to pressure the ball inside a certain territory. They will throw a half-court, full-court trap on an occasion. So the pressure of the ball is a real mighty concept for them.
And recently, Red, the Cavs simply have been giving up too many points. They don't score a lot of points offensively, and 93 points given up defensively is too much for them.
Well, you see they were 11 over 500 the first 31 games. Now only 1 out of 7, and yes, everything up, even the opponent's rebounds.
I mentioned the offense. It struggles. There's no question about that. But one of the bright spots on this offense and the key to the whole attack is Terrell Brandon, their all-star guard.
Well, they thought enough of Terrell Brandon to get rid of Mark Price and give the reins of leading this team to him. He's been a brilliant young man this year, as you see, 20 points a game. But in the last 5 games, he's 5 points below that and 2 points below his assists per game.
All right, Red. Well, earlier tonight, head coach Phil Jackson addressed the Dennis Rodman situation for the first time. In a few moments, when we return from our first break, we'll have some of his comments about Dennis Rodman and what might happen next when we continue on Bulls basketball.
Chicago Bulls basketball.
Wayne Larrivee, Johnny Red Curry back at Gund Arena. Let's take a look at the starting lineups for the 35-5 Bulls, who are 15-4 on the road so far this season. Up front, the Chicago Bulls present Scottie Pippen. Had a decent ball game all around. 1 assist away from a triple-double against New York. Tony Kukoc gets the start. That's a look at what he does in his 6th start so far this season. He's the other forward. In the center spot, big Luke Longley. Randy Brown is the starter at the guard spot opposite the all-star Michael Jordan. Phil Jackson, the head coach of the Bulls, has won 73% of his games in the regular season, and that's a look at what he does against the Cavaliers. Not bad. For the Cleveland Cavaliers, who come into the record of 22-17, Chris Mills, a shooter on the wing, gets the start up front. Tyrone Hill who's done a pretty good job against the Bulls, 7.5 rebounds a game, is the other forward. Mark West, the big guy in the middle, leads the NBA all-time field goal percentage. Bobby Phills has played very well the last 3 games in the backcourt, and Terrell Brandon is the all-star for this ball club at the backcourt spot. Mike Fratello for the Cleveland Cavaliers in his 4th season with the Cavs has won 56% of his games with Cleveland, but against Phil Jackson has a losing record. Earlier tonight, Phil Jackson spoke in public for the first time about the Dennis Rodman suspension, about the act he committed to earn the suspension, and he talked about it in these terms.
We can't defend Dennis. Dennis has to, stand up for his own actions in that regard, and unfortunately is an indefensible type of a situation. No matter how exacerbated he was, that's the kind of act that you can't have a player or a participant in the NBA performing or taking part in. The other part of it is that it hurts our team. 11-game suspension is a situation which it really hurts our basketball club because of the loss of his services. We need him and we count on him to play for us. That's a big part of the season he's missing, and that's going to hurt us, I think, in the standings overall. Eventually, it's going to wear and tear on our basketball club, so that bothers us. The third thing is it's another strike against him in the NBA coffers or the NBA's checklist. And Dennis has gotten himself in a position with the league where there's not a whole lot of tolerance, as is noticed by the 11-game suspension. And so that hurts too, because now it's really critical toward the edge. They could take away his livelihood.
I realize coaching in the NBA is a matter of people management. It's give and take for individuals, accommodating individuals, both their talents, their on-court and off-court lifestyles and everything else. How much baggage do you put up with for this very necessary ingredient that Dennis Rodman provides to your championship puzzle?
Dennis has never caused any problem here. In his home practice, in the locker room, has never caused any problem. Traveling, he's not done talk back. He doesn't have an angry temperament in the locker room. Even if he gets chewed out, even if he gets told, that he did something wrong. Dennis is the only place Dennis exhibits emotional reaction is on the court. It's an arena which draws it. So everything he does is so, out there. It's so public that it becomes a public suspension or a public a situation all the time. So as Bulls, we're like completely as mystified as other people when we see this kind of behavior, because as we know him, he's semi-introverted. He's a relatively withdrawn individual who enjoys the camaraderie of his teammates. Most times spends the time on the plane watching videotape and being by himself.
Comments of Phil Jackson, who again spoke of the Dennis Rodman situation publicly for the first time tonight.
Michael just put a whole load of dust on top of us that trip.
Well, that's good omen. Referees for tonight's ball game: Paul Mihalik, Tommy Nunez, Woody Mayfield on hand to arbitrate this contest from the NBA.
Listen, it's a 23rd home game for them. It's the 23rd. The date is the 23rd. And that guy that walked past us and threw some dust on us is wearing 23.
Does that mean he's going to get about 60 tonight?
I don't know. I don't know. Could mean something big.
Cavs in the home whites and the Bulls in their traditional traveling red uniforms. We're just underway at Gund Arena, and it's great to have you with us tonight for NBA basketball. Randy Brown gets the first cut to the basket, and foul coming up.
Offensive foul.
Brown picks up his first foul. Phil Jackson saying it's a bad call.
He's getting his voice together. Randy saw a little opening to the basket, went to it, and closed in a hurry.
Terrell Brandon, and they'll run some isolation for him. Mills. Bobby Phills trying to make a cut to the baseline. They go down low to Hill, and Higgins in with the scoop shot and is fouled on the play.
Tony Kukoc with the first foul.
Number 7, Tony Kukoc.
You see what they first set up coming down, that screen and roll on that one side. It seems like they always set up a two-man game. And now Tyrone Hill, not a real great free throw shooter.
64% on the season for Hill. He dislocated the little middle, the finger on his left hand, the middle finger on his left hand on January 7th. And that has affected his offense since then. He has struggled somewhat. And he's got the Cavs on top with a pair of free throws, 2-0. Mike Vitello's been playing with his lineup. Last couple of games, he's brought Tyrone Hill off the bench. Here's the quick steal by Bobby Phills. Phills to Terry Mills. Brandon with the dish to Tyrone Hill. And it's not got a bounce. Last touch by Cavaliers.
What Phil was talking about in our opening of the show, they overplay on the wings. That time you saw Michael come way up to the top of the key, and they overplayed him there and stole the ball.
On the drive, Tony Kukoc has it blocked by West. Cavaliers on the run. Terrell Brandon the pull-up. Rebound batted and back tap. Taken on the play by Tyrone Hill. Chris Mills for three. Tyrone Hill another rebound. Feeds Brandon on the double pump scoop.
Oh, they have owned the board down there.
The Cavaliers out in front of the Bulls 4-0. Longley trying to get position down low. Jordan up front. And here's Scottie Pippen goes to work. Has it knocked away by Mills. Picked off by Brandon. The lead for Bobby Phills. And the Cavaliers off to an impressive start. 6-0 here tonight, and Phil Jackson wants to talk it over. But Paul Mihalik stops the action for a moment.
What was that about?
I don't know. He was talking to the Cleveland bench. He stopped the game, and now the Bulls re-inbound it. And here's Scottie Pippen. Tony up high. Randy Brown. Got a foul coming up on Terrell Brandon as he reached in on Brown. First on Terrell, first on the team. They are ruling no shot, apparently, that Randy was hit on the drive instead of while shooting.
They'll ask the senior, Paul Mihalik, what did he think? Nope, on the side.
Take a look at it again.
Yeah, he really wasn't in the act of shooting. He was coming around trying to get himself together, but looked like he got fouled before he went up.
Michael Jordan played by Bobby Phills. Phills picked up 3 fouls early in the game in Chicago. Here's Brandon on the drive, off the steal, and he blew the layup. Randy Brown almost lost the rebound, but Scottie Pippen there to collect.
They are overplaying the wings every pass out here, so it's really great. You've got to see him go to back door once in a while.
Pippen on the block against West. Scottie with 7 to go on the shot clock. Tony Kukoc is there. The first 2 points of the game for the Bulls come with 9:28 to go in the first quarter. The Cavaliers leading by 4. Terrell Brandon sets it up. Bobby Phills in the backcourt with Brandon. He's got it now. Up high they go to Tyrone Hill. Hill on the scoop. Tyrone Hill backing down Tony Kukoc. The Cavaliers in front 8-2. Luke Longley cutting through it right past Tony Kukoc, who clearly was not expecting the pass.
No, he wasn't. He went by Luke, and Luke fumbled the ball a little bit, so Tony gave up. And as he gave up, Luke completed that pass out of bounds. And look at this, 5 turnovers to none. The Bulls had their share of turnovers against the Knicks. Starting the third quarter, starting the fourth quarter, they committed 5 in each of those quarters. And now they've got it again here.
Overall, the Bulls had 23 turnovers in the game against the Knicks, and of course Chicago leads the NBA. Fewest turnovers per game, 13 a contest. 5 to go on the shot clock. Tyrone Hill.
Offensive foul.
Trying to clear out with the off-iron. Hill picks up his first, and that'll turn it back to the Bulls. Ron Harper, Jason Caffey into the lineup quickly, replacing Tony Kukoc and Randy Brown.
So Ronnie Harper, 5 games on the injured list, comes back. Likes to come back here and play in Ohio.
A graduate of Miami of Ohio, has a lot of friends here in the Cleveland area from his tour of duty with the Cavaliers earlier in his playing career. Cleveland. Michael Jordan's first 2 points of the night. So the Bulls creeping back into this game, trailing 8-4 in a slow starting first quarter.
Too bad we're not doing the game for the Cavs. Mike Fratello likes to stand in half court. You and I could see the whole game.
Exactly. Chris Mills off the screen by West. Terrell Brandon lost Harper with the uptake. Luke Longley the rebound. The outlet to Pippen. Bulls on the run. Scotty the pull-up over Bobby Phills. So Scottie Pippen on his first from the field, and the Bulls trail by just 2, 8-6 after a shaky start. 5 turnovers, Red, in the first 4 minutes of this quarter.
There's your coach coming back from the half quarter.
Brandon trying to get 3, traveled that time. Interesting, John, the substitutions for the Bulls came very early in this first quarter with Cathy and Harper off the bench in a hurry for Brown and Kukoc after the Bulls got off to a real slow start. 7.5 to go in this first quarter. Bulls can tie the 2-pointer right here. They can take the lead with this. Mark West up high for the rebound. Terrell Brandon steers it out of the backcourt. Trying to slip a feed to West down low, and it was Harper who broke it up and denied that interior feed, but knocked it out of bounds and belonged to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Cleveland offensively, you know, at the shoot-around today, the thing you mentioned, Phil Jackson talked a lot about, and that's the screens, double screens worked by the guards to get people open on the wing.
Illegal defense. You know, this team, you and I talk about this team 1-7 their last game. Look where they were. At Indiana, they played Houston, Washington, Atlanta, good team. At Denver, at Seattle. They went in overtime to win against the Lakers, and then Utah. So that 1-7 is a little deceiving. They played some pretty good basketball team.
Certainly did. Just under 7 minutes to go, first quarter. Bobby Phills. Here's Chris Mills. And down low on the baseline. Harper apparently guilty of a hold on Terrell Brandon. Harper picks up his first personal foul. That is the second on the team. We've got a timeout on the floor. Yes, a slow start. 6:53 to go, first quarter. Cavaliers maintain a 2-point advantage over the Chicago Bulls. Earlier tonight, we talked with Phil Jackson about the Dennis Rodman situation. What if Rodman does not complete the requirements outlined by the NBA and does not return to the Bulls this season? Can they win a championship?
Whatever it takes to get back to play basketball. Now, that's granted that he will eat a little bit of humble pie, and I didn't like exactly how he ate it on national TV yesterday in prime time when they aired the Dennis Rodman interview. I thought he could have been a little more conciliatory towards what had happened in the situation and said, yeah, you know, I recognize this is not behavior that's condoned, and come to terms with the fact that he won't or he shouldn't commit any kind of acts like that again. But that's also a tough part of Dennis, is fessing up to his past mistakes.
Phil Jackson on Dennis Rodman. Rodman made his comments last night on the ABC program in 2020. Cleveland Cavaliers resume offensively. This is Bobby Phills against Michael Jordan. Phills blocked by Jordan, but Michael got a piece of him for the foul. First on MJ, third on the team. This is a good matchup. Bobby Phills is a physical defensive player, 6'5", 220, Red. He picked up 3 early fouls in the ball game on December 28th at Chicago, and that allowed Jordan, Phills had to sit down early in the game, and allowed Jordan to really take advantage of his replacements. Michael at 45 points in that game. Bobby Phills off the mark on his first. It's a 75% free throw shooter. We mentioned he's played very well the last 3 games, averaging almost 19 points a game. Phil's 1 out of 2 at the line. Cleveland's lead is 3. Michael with the pull-up. Terrell Brandon picks off the carry. Bulls get back defensively. Brandon off the screen by West. And he nets 2. Terrell Brandon with 2 from the field and 4 points. Longley finds Harper on the weave. Hill, the outlet to Brandon. Bulls really struggling from the field. Brandon for 3. 7 for Terrell Brandon. And the Cavaliers extend their lead to 8 points, biggest of the night.
Brandon started out kicking the ball all over, missed the layup, missed the long shots, and now he's strung together 7 points.
Scottie Pippen on the drive, denied by West. Chris Mills out of the backcourt. Finds Brandon. Bobby fills for 3. Luke Longley all alone for the rebound. Bulls down by 8. Scottie Pippen wants it on the block, but he's not open. Now the pass into Pippen. Deflected, I believe it was last touch by the Cavaliers, and that's the determination by the officiating crew. It'll belong to the Bulls with 11 to go on the shot clock. Pippen looking on the inbounds. Pass stolen by Brandon, intended for Cathy. Brandon to Phils, down low to Hill. He converts despite having it blocked on the play by Harper.
10-point lead now by the Cavs, just over-aggressive against the Bulls, and then down low they pick up a foul on Chris Mills trying to guard Scottie Pippen. But they've been really aggressive defensively here, encouraged by their coach, who's, again, standing up at half court near the scorer's desk.
Charitable sends out a big thank you to the Chicago Board of Trade, who donates $5 for every Bulls assist, and to the James Rivers Corporation, who donates $50 for every Bulls 3-point shot.
Mark West on the foul. They got that ball in to Luke Longley, and as they doubled Luke, he flipped it over to Cathy. Cathy got fouled.
So that's 2 fouls on this possession.
Here it is underneath into Cathy. Cathy goes up, but Mark West fouls.
And now Jason at the free throw line. Jason just 53% of the foul line. Been in double figures in 7 games. In the last 3 games, though, averaging just 4.3 points a contest. And makes 1 out of 2. Now pressure in the backcourt by the Bulls. Tyrone Hill to Terrell Brandon. Brandon giving the open 3. Here comes Scottie Pippen. Bulls are trailing by 9. They have just 7 points in this first quarter. 4:35 to go in the quarter. Longley finds Harper at the baseline. Ron Harper's first 2 points of the game. Brandon picked up by Harper. And again, a good defensive matchup here. Bobby Phils, watched by Michael Jordan. Brandon so quick getting behind those screens, and he banks this one home. 9 for Terrell Brandon. The Cavalier lead is 9 points. Harper back to the basket on Brandon, turns baseline. Tyrone Hill, good position, sealing off Luke Longley for the rebound. Brandon nearly lost the dribble. This is Mills with the runner. 20-9 Cavaliers. Phil Jackson up off the Bulls bench. And they're going to take a timeout. Not at all happy is Phil Jackson with his team's performance thus far. 3:28 to go in this first quarter. The hometown team getting into it, leading 20-9.
In hospital emergency rooms, there's no time for indecision. Doctors have to rely on medicines they know to be effective and safe. And in cases of sprains and strains, the pain reliever they recommend most is Advil, not Tylenol. 2 Advil work better on tough pain than any 2 extra-strength Tylenol. Emergency room doctors trust Advil to safely relieve pain. Shouldn't you?
And from the makers of Advil, there's new children's Advil. Lowers fevers up to 8 hours. It's the next generation in children's fever relief.
This is Dick. Dick is a creative superstar and the man behind the advertising you're about to witness. We gave Dick a 6-pack of Miller Lite and a typewriter and asked him to create a Miller Time concept. Dick said, okay, but only if his best friend Jimmy could check the product out first. Watch this.
Test it. Gotta test it out, check it. Test it. Make sure it's alright, test it. Test it. Make sure it's alright, test it. it's good. Gotta check it out. I've got to check it out. I've got to check it out. I've got to test it out. Make sure that it's alright. Check it out, test it out, check it out.
This has been a Miller Time presentation by Dick. Thank you for your time.
Earlier tonight, we've heard some comments from Phil Jackson concerning the Dennis Rodman situation. We asked Phil if the Bulls could win without Dennis Rodman in the playoffs.
Can we? I don't think so. I mean, I'm in a position where I'm saying we're back to where we were versus the Orlando Magic in the playoffs in '95. Not enough strength, not enough machismo, not enough energy on the court defensively to do the things that have to be done in dire situations to stop basketball clubs. It's going to wear and tear at Scotty and Michael to rebound and to put all that defensive energy that they've had to put out on the floor in the last 3 games, and eventually that's going to take its toll. And so I say it'd be very difficult for us to win it, but we'd go on. I mean, that's all you can do in this situation, is just go straight ahead.
Michael Jordan with a jackknife at the baseline drew the foul on Mark West, second personal on the Cavalier center.
I hope that puts a close to the Dennis Rodman investigation. We get on with basketball until the suspension is over. Jordan to shoot 2 free throws here, gets hammered driving in. I mean, you got to pretend that Dennis sprained his ankle. He's out for 11 games now. You got to do something. You got to adjust to all the other things. Michael with the first free throw.
Let me ask you something, Red. Were you surprised with Phil Jackson's answer on that last soundbite?
No.
It would be difficult without Dennis Rodman. He's a key ingredient to the championship.
The only thing I didn't understand is when he talked about machismo. I didn't know what machismo meant.
I was going to ask you that, Red. I thought it was a long time, NBA term, We are busily getting to the dictionaries right now in the truck. Bulls are trailing by 9 in this first quarter. Coming up on 3 minutes to go first quarter. Cavaliers have executed very well for what they like to do. Vitaly Potapenko in the ball game now, the rookie out of the Ukraine. Luke Longley. Luke looking for room, nothing there.
It was in the middle. He came back to the left side. He had him beat to the middle, had him on his hip.
Potapenko was equal to the task on that side. Terrell Brandon.
Dancing around screens by the big guy.
Brandon left it short. Pippen pries it loose. 2.5 minutes to go first quarter, and here come the Bulls. Trailing by 9. Michael Jordan 4 points here in this first quarter. Harper down low, got Brandon inside. Longley batting away at it. We got a loose ball foul going against the Bulls.
Did it hit the clock or did it?
No, there's no foul. You're right. I think it must have hit the clock. They're ruling Cavalier basketball. The way they stopped it, I thought the officials had a foul, but
Luke leaves, Tony Kukoc in. Now Ferry is going to come in, and who's he coming? Oh, he will not get there.
So the Cavaliers resume offensively. Coming up on 2 minutes to go in this first quarter. Bill's trying to get loose at the baseline. Brandon out front. 10 to go on the shot clock for Cleveland. Potapenko denied initially and then traveled. I thought he had it blocked by Kukoc, but apparently not. He must have just lost the handle on it. And it's a traveling violation. Let's pause for station identification.
This is America's #1 sports station, WGN-TV, Chicago.
Just under 2 minutes to go first quarter. Jordan leaves it short. Scottie Pippen. Nice feed to Michael in close.
Michael Jordan.
6 for Jordan. And the Bulls trail by 7. Bobby Phills. Here's the double screen to the baseline, and Brandon comes up to get it on the wing. Danny Ferry in the ball game for Cleveland. Got a technical foul called on Mike Fratello by Tommy Nunez.
I say he's been up and down the bench, up and down the floor.
Cavalier head coach Mike Fratello.
Let's see if we can pick him up in the background. Watch this.
All right, there he is, standing over there hollering to Tommy Nunez, and I had no idea, and he had nothing to do with the play, did it? I mean, he was
no.
So Michael Jordan down here trying for free throw.
Might have been addressing past transgressions that were not called.
Yeah.
Something like that. Michael makes good on his first. And only free throw on that technical foul. 1:26 to go. Cavaliers lead is 20-14 over the Bulls. Bulls shooting just 33% from the field in this opening quarter.
9 seconds.
9 to go on the shot clock for the Cavaliers. Brandon and Bobby fills the backcourt. Brandon on the penetration. That's something. Terrell Brandon, when he penetrates, if you commit too many bodies to him, if you fly 1 or 2 guys at him, generally he's going to find somebody open on the wing. So you're in a dilemma. It's a catch-22 whether to defend him on that drive through the lane. Jordan sticks the J. He has 9.
Over the double team that time, Ferry came to try to close the door. Watch the defense when you get a chance. Cleveland is playing against the Bulls down deep in their centers. They front him, and the Bulls can't get the ball in, and I wonder sometimes why the Bulls do that front.
Brandon outside for 2. Michael pierces in for the rebound. Under a minute to go, first quarter.
3 for 2. Stop, jump.
Michael trying to wrap it around, I believe, either Cathy or Harper. Harper unable to chase down. The Cavaliers are 3rd in the NBA in 3-point field goal shooting at 40% as a team, right? And a lot of what they get on the wing comes from their screen roll, their double screens on the baseline, and Brandon penetrating and then pitching it back outside to an open man on the wing.
Absolutely. They don't go to the hole all the way a lot, except this guy. This guy will try to get himself down low.
He will try to finish. You're right. 7 to go on the shot clock. Double down from Pippen. Pried it loose. Mills comes up with it and travels on the play. Cathy against Tyrone Hill. Now Pippen out front. Time winding down to the corner. 2 seconds to go. Jordan with the fire to beat the clock. And it's off the heel of the rim. Well, the Bulls struggled from the field in this first quarter. Terrell Brandon had a nice first quarter for the Cavaliers. Jordan 3 of 7 for the Bulls. And at the end of 1, it is the home team that leads 22-16 over the world champs.
Excuse me, think your disposable razor shaves as comfortably as his Gillette Sensor XL? Yeah, well, try Sensor XL. It'll change your mind. After one shave with Sensor XL, we bet you don't go back. Because only Sensor XL has protective microfins for extra comfort. Wow. And self-adjusting blades for extra closeness. Disposables don't. And Sensor XL gives more shaves per blade than any disposable.
Excuse me.
Take the Sensor XL challenge. Bet you don't go back to disposables.
Hey, I want my Sensor XL back. Hey, hey!
Phil gave me this shirt personally. He says he likes my moves.
Penny gave me this shirt because he modeled his game after mine.
Well, Hill and I carpool to work every morning.
Penny was going to give me his car, but I wanted the jersey instead.
Hill and I exchange recipes.
Look under Sprite bottle caps, and you can win free Sprite or authentic Grant Hill or Penny Hardaway jerseys. Then, make up a better story.
Penny's my cousin.
Well, Hill played the guitar at my bar mitzvah.
Old junky antique shops. I like. You want me to tell you what my Discover card statement says? Just little things that make a girl sing. I have fish and I have birds and I have dogs. Mangoes. Cecilia Bartoli and something by Puccini. Floridita Cuban restaurant. Fabulous. Stuck to my diet a little bit. That cash bonus thing at the end.
How many credit cards make a statement like that?
Live a little.
It pays to Discover. Use it where you see the Nova sign.
I think you guys have what it takes to go all the way to the top.
They were 5 friends from the neighborhood who were looking to create a special sound.
We're going to go into the studio and record our first single.
A sound that would rock the whole country.
I want you on my label. Let's make a deal right now.
From Robert Townsend and Keenan Ivory Wayans, the 5 Heartbeats.
Friday night at 7 on WGN. Write down the Bulls' high score, his point total, and the date of tonight's game and send it on a postcard to WGN. You could win round-trip tickets on Southwest Airlines, a symbol of freedom.
Let's take a look at the first quarter stats brought to you by AT&T 1-800-COMPARE. 7 turnovers by the Bulls, 5 of them within the first 4 minutes of the first quarter. It kind of set the tone. The Bulls only shot 35%. The Cavaliers up around 50%. And that's why Cleveland has the 22-16 lead. Take a look at this turnover. A lazy inbounds pass to Jason Caffey after Scottie Pippen looked for a long time and couldn't find anybody open. And then the Cavaliers away on the break for 2 of their 7 fast break points. Bob Sura is in the ball game at guard for the Cavaliers. This is Chris Mills. Gets a screen from Hill, doesn't take it, hits the J for 3. Chris Mills has 5 points. Cavaliers leading by 9 once again. Randy Brown back into the lineup along with Ron Harper, Scottie Pippen, Tony Kukoc, Bill Wennington. The foul is on Danny Ferry. And Kukoc will go to the line. Ferry's first personal. First on the team here in the second quarter. Tony with 2 points in the first quarter at the free throw line. He's been struggling the last couple of games, Red. Just 4 for 19 from the field in the last 2 games.
It's been brilliant since he came back from that ankle injury, that foot injury. And then all of a sudden, as you mentioned, last 2 games have just been down under the 10-point mark.
Tony with the first of 2. And he makes the first. On Sunday, February 16th, in the Bulls battle the Orlando Magic, Coca-Cola Youth Jersey Night. First 5,000 kids 14 and up entering United Center get a Bulls Youth Jersey. Compliments Coca-Cola. Tony's got 4, and the Bulls with some backcourt presence, trailing now 25-18. Bobby Sura and Bobby fills the backcourt for the Cavaliers. Ferry, Mills, and Tyrone Hill up front. Tyrone wanted it on the block. Now he vacates. Sura on the drive, off the dribble, throws it away. It'll belong to Chicago.
But that is an example of what we talked about. They try to penetrate and then kick out to guys shooting it. And that time they thought Sura was going all the way. And it backfired.
You're right. Ferry not expecting that pass. Opening minute, second quarter. Bulls are down 25-18. Wennington with a high screen for Scottie Pippen. Ferry denied the interior feed to Kukoc. Here comes Mills. Wennington knocked it away, but fouled on the play.
Is that for a 3-point play or not?
Foul is on Bill Wennington. His first, team first. Chris Mills to shoot 2.
Take a look at what caused that foul.
Yeah, oh, you know, this looks certainly like it's over the back on Ferry on that pass. But it ends up with Mills shooting 2. He's got 5 points in the game. He scored the only basket of this quarter, 3-pointer.
Chris Mills leads the Cavs, averaging 38.1 minutes per ball game.
This is right the way the Cavs like it. Good defense. They keep the score low.
And Red, this is a ball club that has to play on the lead for the most part. The Cleveland Cavaliers. They are not a big come from behind type team. Goes to Harper. Scottie Pippen with 8 to go on the shot clock. Pippen from the outside. 4-3.
Scottie Pippen, 3 points.
5 for Scottie. And the Bulls close in once again, trailing by 6.
Don't switch, Tony. He jumped out too quick and left Ferry. They don't want to get Tony on Sura and Randy Brown on Ferry.
Tyrone Hill watched by Wennington. Randy Brown reaching in. I'm not sure if Bill might have gotten him with the body also on that play. But there's calling Bill Wennington for the foul.
Bill Wennington, his
second on Bill.
Second
on the team.
On for the Cavaliers, number 33, Donnie Marshall.
Donnie Marshall steps onto the floor for the first time tonight for the Cleveland Cavaliers. As we mentioned, Bill Wennington, 2 quick fouls in the early going of the second quarter. Sura, guarded by Randy Brown. Donnie Marshall jumped at by Scottie Pippen. Tyrone Hill. Pippen is there. Here come the Bulls on the run. Scottie on the push. He was fouled on the play. Danny Ferry picks it up. Oh, Chris Mills, I beg your pardon. Chris Mills picks up the foul. His second. Boy, the look Ferry gave Paul Mahalik when he signaled that foul. I thought it was on him for a moment.
Scotty really put on a burst at half court here to come down. I guess the bump occurred before Ferry got there.
But nonetheless, Scotty will go to the line. Continuation on that particular play. Pip gets the rim for his first. Michael Jordan on the bench had 9 points in the first quarter.
Just chilling. Congratulations to Bill Blair, who from Canton, Ohio, will be leaving Depot, retiring. A great career there, and his wife Connie. Good friends of ours.
For a minute, I thought you were talking about Bill Blair, the assistant coach at Indiana.
He used to be with the Bullies, yeah. But that's nothing.
With the Bulls briefly in his career, wasn't he?
When Kevin Lockley was the coach.
Cavaliers struggling to get it across, and they just do get it across in time, and now the scramble is on, and a jump ball.
Well, you see 11 seconds on the clock. Phil says he didn't think they got it over in time.
I don't think they did either. Let's see.
All right, here's a good view of it. Does he get through? 14. Yeah, he was over. Paul Mahalik says, I was watching it. He said he was on the floor with the ball, so it'll be a jump ball right at center court. Something that's very unusual in this game anymore.
I don't see this much outside of the start of the ball game. And the tip control by the Cavaliers. Bobby Sura comes down with it. Bulls are on a 14-7 run. Sura drives baseline. Ferry is open out of the corner. Wennington had position on Hill for that rebound that Harper was able to garner. Wennington screened Tyrone Hill off the board that time. Entry feed to Scotty.
It's Bill's range.
This is it. That's his shot. Pippen. Whoa. Knocked out of bounds by Danny Ferry.
Good vision by Pip. He saw Harper standing under the basket, but just that hand. And now here's your boy again. Vitaly Potapenko. Huh?
Potapenko, yeah. The Ukraine train.
He had a nice game against the Bulls in Chicago last time he played.
Did you just call him V that night? V-man?
Vitaly.
Here's Scotty.
Now there's a good case. Ferry playing in front. The man comes from behind and cannot make the. I like that defense when a guy plays in front and you force a guy to throw it over the top, but you have to put pressure on that guy making a pass.
In watching the Cavaliers, they rotate very well from the weak side.
There's the front, and here comes Bobby Sura over the back. Pip with an inbound slam.
Scotty with 9 points as he pokes it through. Bulls trailing by just 2. 16-7 run now. Ferry nearly had his pocket picked by Ronnie Harper, and Woody Mayfield brings up Harper with his second personal foul.
His second. Team third.
Third on the team. Wayne Larrabee, Johnny Redker, Gundarina, which will be the site of the All-Star festivities in a couple of weeks. Cavaliers leading by 2 over the Chicago Bulls. Sura trying to get the step baseline. Ferry sets the screen.
Now this is what he didn't want. This is what Phil did not want.
Ferry gets Randy Brown on a switch, as you point out. And Randy has to commit the foul to stop the play at the baseline. Second personal on Randy, 4th on the team.
He didn't want Brown and Kukoc switching. Now Michael will come back in the game. He doesn't want Kukoc to end up on Sura. So Mike comes back for Randy Brown. A slow quarter for them, too. They've only scored a 3-pointer by Mills and 2 free throws by him.
Almost 4 minutes gone by, second quarter. Bob Sura. They clear it out for him.
This is what Phil didn't want. They come back with it again.
Danny Ferry now picked up by Kukoc. Ferry to the right hand. Scottie Pippen another rebound. Tony finds Wennington. Yes. Hand for the bogey weapon on Potapenko.
Bill Wennington sliding down the lane. Michael came across. And watch it. It's almost a skip pass. Here comes Bill up, and he hammers it home. And he looks over the bench, gives him a little wink. Here's Bill as a trailer. He's at half court. Before we go into the timeout, we see Bill finish it off and draw the foul.
So the Chicago Bulls at the free throw line can take the lead over the Cleveland Cavaliers with 7:54 to go first half.
This is Dick.
Hey fans, a reminder on Tuesday, February 18th, when the Bulls battle the Nuggets, it's Nabisco Jewel basketball trading cards tonight. First 10,000 fans entering the United Center will receive a set of Bulls basketball trading cards, compliments of Nabisco and Jewel. Scottie Pippen a few moments ago out of the corner with his first three-point field goal of the night, and he has helped propel the Bulls to a good start in this second quarter. Meanwhile, the Cavaliers just one field goal, a three-pointer by Chris Mills, and 2 foul shots by Mills as the Bulls have outscored the Cavs 11-5 here at the outset of the second quarter.
Well, Bill Wennington with a chance to give the Bulls their first lead of the game. And that's it. Bill has had 2 real good games. He was in double-double against Houston, and he had 7 rebounds and a bunch of points against the Knicks. So he's really come to help off the bench.
The Bulls playing on top. An unusual spot for them in this ball game thus far, as Red pointed out, their first lead of the night. 10 to go on the shot clock for Bobby Sura. Mills off the screen by Tyrone Hill, missed the shot. Michael Jordan gets the Bulls started with Scottie Pippen. Pass for Kukoc, stolen by Sura. Mills to Ferry. 4-3. No. Ronnie Harper. Outlet to Tony Kukoc. Tony finds Michael at the arc for 3.
Yes, nice easy 3 over the top of a charging Danny Ferry.
The Bulls extend their lead to 4. Well, that got us loud an applause as many of the Cavalier buckets early in the ball game tonight. Michael's three-pointer to give the Bulls the 4-point advantage. Bulls out of 13 run. The steal by Jordan. Michael. Beautiful spin move. Off the glass. Wenning can make that. Kukoc was there. Knocked out of bounds. It's going to belong to Chicago. Bulls on a 13-0 run. Longley coming back into the lineup
for Scottie.
Yeah.
So now they got Longley and they got Wennington at the power forward. They'll play against West and Hill.
Tony Kukoc completes the front line, then Jordan and Kerr in the back.
What helps them is that Hill and West are not threats on the outside. So Bill and Luke are not good defenders way out. They don't have to go out and guard. They can stay back and try to help on the board.
It's a great point. You're right, because the matchup of this lineup is conducive to what the Bulls are using. An unusual look for the Bulls with Wennington and Longley in the game at the same time. You see it sometimes, but not a lot. Michael had it knocked away, picked up by Kerr. Well, the Cavaliers were started down court. And Steve to Luke Longley at a high post. Waiting for a cutter, and it's Michael. Jordan elevates. Kukoc is there. Boy, the rebound went right to the hands of Tyrone Hill at the rim.
Phil said, don't stand there, Tony. Do something. He did. He grabbed the ball and put it back in the hole. Nice job, Tony. Get the coach off your back with that one, huh?
You know, I tell you, coaching is rocket science, isn't it, Red? Come on, Tony, do something. And that he did.
Now Brandon wants to get something going for his team.
5 to go on the shot clock. Finds Hill on the drive. And yes, boy, that happened in a hurry with time winding down on the shot clock. Tyrone Hill fouled by Luke Longley, and he will go to the line.
Well, that really helped him out here. As I said, Brandon wanted to do something, and look at this. He gets an assist going to his big, strong power forward, Tyrone Hill.
So Hill puts in on the three-point play. 9 points for Hill in the ballgame, and the Cavaliers trail by 3. Just under 6 minutes to go, first half. Tony with 10 to go on the shot clock. Wennington open for the spot up. You know, you mentioned Bill was on his mark when he was out at the elbow a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
He's got another mark, and it's from the baseline.
You know, he started when Luke was out, and I was talking to him last night. You and I were both talking to him. I think he feels comfortable. He's in it. He knows how to come off the bench. Some guys don't know how to do that.
Absolutely. Bad pass by Brandon. Here comes Kerr to Tony Kukoc, and his pull-up is short. Tony able to chase down to the corner ahead of Tyrone Hill.
Steve is behind you. Watch out, guys.
Kerr right down to Longley. Wennington again.
Oh, nice job. Bill likes playing that power forward spot. 7 for Bill all in this quarter. And they take a 20-second timeout to talk this over.
4:46 to go. Bill Wennington has come alive in this second quarter with all 7 of his points, and the Bulls open up a 7-point advantage over the Cleveland Cavaliers with 4:46 to go in the half. What's on tap? Well, let's take a look at it. For our Chicago viewers, the Bulls and Trailblazers on Tuesday, February 4th, will be out of the Rose Garden in Portland for the Bulls and Blazers. And our Superstation viewers, your next game will be right back here at Gund Arena, a 6:30 Central Time start for the Bulls and Cavaliers on February 27th. So there's a look at Bill Wennington, who has played very well from an offensive standpoint. Over the course of the last 3 games, he's been 50% or better from the floor. So, Red, he's not only getting his shots, but he's converting the shots that are available to him. Take a look at it. Wennington and Jordan in the last couple have played very well. Matter of fact, Wennington down at Houston Sunday was the only Bull to shoot better than 50%.
We were kidding Bill last night. Michael came back. He scored 55 points against the Knicks, and the Bulls win at the buzzer as Wennington gets a pass from Michael. They combined for 57 points that night.
Yes. Long 3 attempt off the mark. And the conversion by Bobby Phills off the offensive glass. 5 for Phil. Bulls by 5. Michael off the screen by Luke. Jumped at by West. Nonetheless, he drills a line drive. 14 for Jordan.
He had just the minimum visibility over it on the jumper.
Yes, sir. The razor thin margin of error with Mark West coming at you. Bobby Phills. No, but a foul.
Bill Wennington's third.
Stopped him tonight has been fouled. Wennington with 3, as you mentioned. Team is over the limit. Bobby Phills heading to the free throw stripe.
Pip's going to come back in, I think, for Wennington.
Bobby Phills has 6 points.
Back for Chicago.
In for Wennington.
Nice job by Bill. 7 points in the quarter. He should get a nice reception at the bench.
Phil's played a season high 53 minutes at Los Angeles against the Clippers the other night. 25 points and a career high 12 assists. That game went double overtime with the Cavaliers coming out on top of the only game they won on their 4-game West Coast swing. 7 for Bobby Phills, and the Chicago lead is 5 once again. Pippen, Kukoc, Longley, Jordan, and Kerr on the floor for the Bulls. Scotty, baseline with the right-handed hook shot. Brandon lost his footing, gave it up to West. Terrell hit hard. Brandon watched by Steve Kerr, the former Cavalier. West with the screen, 3-pointer by Brandon. Rebound, Kukoc. Coming up on 3 minutes to go, first half, with the Bulls on top by 5. If you've joined us late, the Cavaliers led 22-16 at the end of 1. Michael loose for 3. Nope. Donnie Marshall cannot handle, loses out of bounds. Marshall did a good job, number 1, of bodying Pippen away from the board, but then could not complete the rebound. And we've got a timeout on the floor. Bulls take a break with 3:03 left to go in this, the first half. From Gund Arena in Cleveland, where the Bulls lead the Cavaliers by 5, 39-34.
What is a
Wayne Larrabee, Johnny Redker, our WGN crew, Skip Ellison, our director, Mandy Cohen, John Walgren, our producer, Mandy Cohen, and Mark Stenzel on the stats. Bulls are leading by 5. Take a look at Bill Wennington in action. He has 7 points in this second quarter, and he shakes loose on the backside of the offense for a jam. $25 from McDonald's and Charitables every time Wennington or any Bulls slam dunks in tonight's game. And off the bench, the Bulls leading Cleveland 10-0. That's nothing new. The Bulls bench has been outstanding. They've outscored 7 of their last 9 opponents off the bench. Longley in the lane looking for room. Turns on Marshall. Pippen up high over West. Can't handle the rebound, but Kerr does. Kukoc, little lob for Scotty. Steve Kerr off the dribble. Luke comes up with it. Michael trying to keep it alive. West finally flags down for the Cavaliers. Cleveland trailing by 5. Coming up on 2.5 minutes to go in this first half. Bobby Phills jumped in by Tony Kukoc. 10 to go on the shot clock. Phil Jackson asking his team, watch the pitch. Bobby Phills able to shake loose. Cavaliers do a great job, John, of screening away from the ball and getting people loose on the wing.
But you know that coming in.
Sure. That's something the Bulls worked on this morning in their shooting. Pippen's pass is right at his ankles. That's a tough spot for the big man to handle. A pass coming up on 2 minutes to go. First half. Bills for 3. Back tap to Kerr. Bulls on the run. Under 2 minutes to go. First half. Tony at the arc for 3. Just a bit short. Tyrone Hill to Terrell Brandon. Bulls lead is 3. Brandon sets the floor. Not a lot of movement at the moment by the Cavaliers. Let's see if they try some screens now. Baseline, they're trying to get Donnie Marshall loose. Brandon from the outside. Michael. Bulls who lead by 3. Start up offensively. Jordan, a little change of direction move. Cut off for the baseline. Scottie Pippen. The turnaround over Marshall. Had it halfway down, wouldn't stay. Kukoc to Pitt. Beautiful.
You have to love it. Beautiful pass by Pitt. Fires it across traffic. Michael's got 16.
Under a minute to go. Donnie Marshall to Bobby Phills from the outside. Rebound taken by Kukoc. The Bulls have done a much better job here in the second half, or second quarter, of taking care of the boards. Marshall denied that lob to Pippen, knocked it out of bounds. It'll belong to the Bulls. Much better job on both ends on the boards here in the second quarter for the Bulls, and that has fueled their rise to the lead position in this game. 22nd timeout taken by the Bulls. Give us an opportunity to remind you that Charitables sends out a big thank you to the Chicago Board of Trade, who donates $5 for every Bulls assist, and to the James River Corporation, who donates $50 for every Bulls 3-point shot. So the Chicago Bulls, who lead by 5 with 31.8 seconds to go in the first half. Huddle around Phil Jackson, Jimmy Rogers, Phil's assistant, alongside. Take a look at the rebounding statistic. The first quarter, the Cavaliers did a good job early in the ball game, but the second quarter, the Bulls have dominated the boards on both ends, and that has helped fuel their run of the second quarter. They have scored 25 points in the second quarter to just 14 for the Cavaliers.
Well, on his out of bounds, Michael lines up under the basket, so they are very wary when he does that.
Scotty. Michael. Yes,
very wary when he does that. Michael gets 18 points, and he's got a foul going up. He just went over and set a screen to free Steve Kerr. Well, watch him. He's underneath the basket. He just goes over to set a screen on Kerr, and he's wide open. Up he goes. And that was what, Chris Mills on that?
Reggie Geary gets the foul. Driving late on the play. Geary, his his first, and Michael going to the line. Both teams are over the foul limit, but this is shooting foul anyway, of course. Kukoc leaves the lineup. Caffey back in for the Bulls. Hill returns. Sura has a seat on the bench.
Reggie Geary, was he out there? I didn't even see him out there. Not anymore, huh?
Not anymore.
Michael, 3-point play. He's got 19 in the game.
Time winding down to this first half. About a 6-second difference. Shot clock to game clock. To go on the shot clock for the Cavaliers. Here's Bobby Phills trying to get a baseline. Tyrone Hill got a foul. No, he stepped on the baseline. Tyrone took that ball with a foot on the baseline.
Okay,
Cavaliers.
Tony Kukoc in the lineup for Jason Caffey. They got 7 seconds. They said, let's go. I want to get that ball in.
44-36, Bulls on top. Bulls trying for a double-digit advantage as we go to halftime. Time winding down. Michael the pull-up for 3. Pippen another shot, but it will not count. And the first half comes to a close. So the Bulls dominated the second quarter of this ball game after just 16 points in the first quarter. The Bulls come out with 28 points in the second quarter. And they have the lead at intermission, 44-36. Stay tuned. Rich King coming up live from our WGN studios with all the day in sports next.
Tonight on WGN News, get ready for some messy winter weather. Bring along your boots and some extra patience. Tomorrow's commute promises to be a rough one.
Some frustrated America Online users may have some relief coming. I'm Dana Kozlov, and I'll have that story tonight.
And there is the story at the half at the Gunda Arena. The Bulls in control, 44-36 over the Cleveland Cavaliers. And welcome to our halftime report back here in our WGN studios. I'm Rich King, and tonight something unusual for a sportscaster. We have a reaction from the president of the USA in our program. No, it's not about Bosnia, nor about the budget, or about something really important, but about Dennis Rodman, that infamous kick that gained worldwide attention. President Clinton addressing that issue today.
I don't mind at all some of the more unusual manifestations of his personality, but I think when he does a destructive thing like that, it's a bad thing. I'm sure in his heart of hearts he really regrets it.
No comment from Jeff Van Gundy on Rodman tonight, not yet any.
Back at Gunda Arena in Cleveland, Ohio, the Chicago Bulls, after a slow start to the ball game tonight, have assumed the lead over the Cleveland Cavaliers at halftime. Wayne Larrabee and Johnny Redker, good to have you with us tonight. Red, you mentioned it very well. I thought early in the ball game, the Cavaliers came out. They were the aggressor. They went after it, really filled the lanes pretty well, and took away some of the things the Bulls like to do. But the Bulls quietly made adjustments in that second quarter.
They certainly did. Terrell Brandon led the way with 11 points in that first quarter. 7 minutes in the second quarter that he played, he didn't even score. So the Bulls tightened their defense. 28 big points. And yes, we had some highlights. Let's take a look at them. A steal here. Results by Terrell Brandon taking the ball, flipping it up high, and Bobby Phills goes in for the hammer. Nice job. Brandon, we talked about his 11 first quarter points, and here's 3 of them here. A long 3-point jump. That gave the Cavs an 8-point lead. Well, they were on their way back when we see Tony Kukoc drive the middle, and he finds Michael all alone outside the 3, and he knocks that one down. The guy that came off the bench with 7 points in the second quarter gets a pass from Tony Kukoc. Bill Wennington knocks down that J. He loves it. Now watch this. Michael Jordan trying to get under the basket. Scotty misses the shot. Michael's still there. The ball gets tapped back out. Pip gets the ball again. Michael says, hey, give me it, I'm open. Wow, beautiful pass underneath, and he hammers it down home.
The first half statistics in a couple of key categories. Rebounding, especially in that second quarter. The Bulls out-rebounded the Cavaliers 16-4 in the second quarter, leading to their large lead on the boards. And off the bench, the Bulls getting 10 points to none for the Cavaliers. Let's take a look at the Bulls' upcoming games, sponsored by Ford. All right, first off, let's do our Montgomery Ward leading scores, and Michael Jordan with 19, Pippen with 9, Wennington with 7. Brandon, Phills, and Hill, the leaders for the Cleveland Cavaliers. And as I said just just a moment ago. Now it's time for the upcoming game sponsored by Ford. Toronto at the United Center on Saturday. Then it's off to the coast. Vancouver on Tuesday. Next Thursday in Sacramento. And next Friday at Golden State. And don't forget our next telecast coming up on WGN for our Chicago area viewers, the Bulls and Trailblazers on Tuesday, February 4th from Portland, 9 o'clock Central Time start. And if you're watching on our Superstation, well, here's a look at the schedule coming up about a month from today, a little more than that. The Bulls and Cavaliers back here at Gund Arena. A lot of games in March and then 3 big ones in April. All those games coming up on the Superstation. Sellout crowd, only the second sellout crowd of the season for the Cavaliers, settling back in from their halftime activities. Phil Jackson plotting last-second strategy with Scottie Pippen and Randy Brown as we get set to start the third quarter.
Bulls will start exactly the way they started the game. You're right.
It'll be Scottie Pippen, Luke Longley, Tony Kukoc up front, Randy Brown, Michael Jordan in the backcourt for the Cavaliers, Mark West, Tyrone Hill, and Chris Mills up front, and then Terrell Brandon teaming up with Bobby Phills in the backcourt.
I thought Phil did a nice job of matching up defensively against their physical players and their quickness players.
Made some early moves to the bench. Here's the steal, Randy Brown. Brown in on Brandon. He was pushed in.
Now, this is the way the game opened for them, only Brandon missed the shot. And this time, Randy Brown overplays and picks up the foul on Terrell Brandon, his second. Let's take a look at this play. He throws the ball out. Randy hits it with the left hand, takes it on down, puts on a little burst of speed, makes the bump, goes up with the left hand, lays it in, and now tries for 3.
Randy has been averaging 3.3 steals per game in the last 3 games for the Bulls. And this is a guy that does not play 30-plus minutes. You have to understand that. He's a menacing individual for the opposition when he's in the ballgame. Randy Brown. Terrell Brandon looking for room. Screen roll. There's Chris Mills, and they try to get him open on that play. He had a good look at it, but Luke Longley retrieves the errant shot. Now Brown gets it across. Pippen to Jordan. Oh, turnaround. He lost Bobby Phills.
He lost his direction. Looked like he turned the wrong way.
Brandon back the other way. Terrell Brandon with a 17-footer out front. He has 13 in the game. Pressure in the backcourt now by the Cavaliers, and Randy Brown races it across. Terrell Brandon picked his pocket from behind.
Nobody warned him either. Randy did not look back, but you got to have guys holler when you see a guy closing on him.
Brandon picked up on a switch by Kukoc. Terrell.
Well, we said he didn't score in that second quarter. He's off to a good one here. He's got 15 points, 4 in this quarter.
And the Bulls' lead is down to 6. Biggest lead for the Bulls tonight, 10 points. Opening 2 minutes, third quarter. Michael with 8 to go on the shot clock. Against Bobby Phills. Phills with a hand check. First foul on Bobby Phills. That's the
team foul number 2.
Team foul number 2 on the Cavaliers. Bulls will get it at side court near the Cavalier bench. Michael Jordan. Double team, pass knocked away, batted by West. Finally collected by Mark West. Now Terrell Brandon out of the backcourt. Gets the play from head coach Mike Fratello. Cavaliers trail by 6. Phills tries to get baseline. Pass for West is thrown away. Either West or Mills, the intended receiver on that pass.
But West does a nice job of double teaming. Michael gets that ball in the corner, he comes over, they try to set a pick. He leaves and goes to Michael, makes that big body over the top.
Oh. Luke trying to go back door to Jordan, and it was slammed shut by Phills. The lead, Chris Mills. And the Cavaliers break their way back into the game. 9 for Chris Mills, and the lead is 4 for Chicago. Almost 3 minutes deep into this third quarter. Longley on the block. Luke looking to muscle for two. Didn't get the roll. Tyrone Hill the rebound.
Luke Dry out of the center now, over 4.
Terrell Brandon. 8 to go on the shot clock. Bobby Phills. Tough shot on Jordan. Michael, excellent defense again. Kukoc to Randy Brown. The drop for Scotty. I'm not sure he was expecting it in that situation. Now Pippen wheels to the lane. Kukoc out front. Still plenty of time on the shot clock. Michael for 3. West and Longley keeps it alive. To Randy Brown. Tony off the dribble, was fouled on the reach by Tyrone Hill, or not? No timeout. I thought Tyrone Hill might have gotten him on a foul, but a 20-second timeout called by the Bulls to stop the action. 8:17 to go in this third quarter. The Bulls, who at the outset of the quarter gained a quick 10-point advantage, now have their lead sliced down to 4. Let's pause for station identification.
This is America's #1 sports station, WGN-TV, Chicago.
Again, an unusually high number of turnovers for the Bulls in this ball game here tonight. They average 13 turnovers a game overall, and we still have 8:17 to go in this third quarter, and the Bulls already at their per-game average, as you can see. Cleveland also a team that takes pretty good care of the basketball. The Bulls took a 10-point lead when Randy Brown, off a steal, hit on a driving layup at the outset of this third quarter. And since then, they've been outscored by the Cavaliers 6-0. Kukoc to Michael. Jordan looks to get baseline, and he was bumped by Bobby Phills. So Phills picks up his second personal foul, third of the team.
Team third.
I'm curious to see how the Bulls react when Michael gets it down low on the block, Red, because one thing Phil Jackson asked his team to do this morning was when Michael gets it on the block, don't just stand there and watch him. Make a cut away from the ball and try to get open in case Michael has to bail out to you. Jordan with a turnaround and it knocked away. I believe that was Phil's who got a piece of it. Michael wanted a foul, none called. Terrell Brandon. Screen from Bobby Phills. 10 to go on the shot clock. Cavaliers. Phills wants it down low on the block. Jordan helping out. Nearly stole it. Knocked it out of bounds. And it's going to belong to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Michael thought for sure he knocked it off of Bobby Phills, but that's not how the officials saw it. Paul Mihalik first, and then Woody Mayfield pictured right there. Very decisive in their calls.
5 on the clock.
That's right. Just 5 to go on the shot clock for Cleveland. Terrell Brandon, the quick release. Scottie Pippen. Bulls on the hustle. Randy Brown wide open for the spot-up chip shot.
Randy Brown.
Oh, your guy has all 4 points in this.
Yeah, Randy Brown is Pip, a lot of faith in him too now, and he's justified it. A lot of hard work this summer by Randy.
Much improved ball player offensively, Red. And also the other thing you've got to factor into his game is he understands the offense and what the Bulls expect of him more than he did last year. Is that an offensive foul or a blocking foul? It's a block on Scotty.
His first.
Only the first on the Bulls with 7:10 to go in the quarter. Scotty had position. Didn't look like it. Looked like a good call by the officials that time. Brandon. 7 minutes to go in the third quarter. Tyrone Hill trying to shake loose baseline. Nearly ran out of real estate, but he was pushed. Phil Jackson up off the bench. He wanted a 3-second violation called earlier. The foul is on Tony Kukoc, and it is his second on the team as Kukoc called for a block at the baseline. 6:53 to go, third quarter. Things have bogged down considerably with the Bulls on top by 6.
When I got rid of my gray hair, I wanted a natural look. So I didn't take any chances. I used the sure thing for a natural look called Just for Men.
Apply Just for Men and in 5 minutes, rinse. It's specially timed to blend away gray, bring back your natural look, and condition hair.
It's a sure thing.
Just for Men, the sure thing for a natural look. And now try Just for Men Color Gel for the hard-to-color hair of mustaches and beards. Brush in, rinse out. Just 5 minutes.
This is Dick. Dick is a creative superstar and the man behind the advertising you're about to witness. We gave Dick a 6-pack of Miller Lite and a blank piece of paper and asked him to create a Miller Time concept that beer-loving people would like. This is what he did.
Adios, amigo. Adios, my friend. The road we have traveled has come to an end. Adios, amigo. Adios, my friend.
This has been a Miller Time presentation by Dick. Thank you for your time.
Chicago 48, Cleveland 42. And we'll take a look at a play that occurred. Here's Tyrone Hill. Now, he cannot dribble, he cannot go to his left. So Luke pressures him way out by the three-point line. And watch this. He's going to go right. He's going to go right. He comes by Tony. Tony gives him a hip bump out of bounds. You got to either let him out there to take the shot. He hasn't taken a three-point field goal all year.
Cavaliers resume offensively, trailing by 6. Bobby Phills. Mark West against Kukoc. Tony batted it away, double down from Pippen. Shot comes up short. And Michael Jordan out of the backcourt. Michael guarded by Chris Mills on a switch. Michael off the dribble, into a crowd, gave it up to Bobby Phills. Terrell Brandon on the drive. 17 for Brandon and the Cavaliers trail by just 4. Cavaliers have scored 13 points on fast break opportunities here tonight. Pippen with a leaner. Pippen again. Scotty with 11. Halfway through the third quarter, the Bulls again lead by 6. Terrell Brandon guarded by Randy Brown. Bobby Phills running hard off the wing, and Brandon is open again. Scottie Pippen on the run to Randy Brown. Head of the field.
Randy Brown with 6 points in his quarter. Pip with the steal, and they'll take a timeout and talk about it.
So the Bulls
20-second timeout.
They're taking a 20-second timeout. The Bulls back into an 8-point lead at 52-44. Just under 6 minutes left to go in the third quarter. Take a look at this last basket. And again, it comes off the missed field goal.
This shot here by Terrell Brandon. Pip up high for the rebound. He looks down, and Terrell Brandon slipped, it looked like. Went down with his ankle, and Randy Brown is out there. Pip gives him the ball. Randy goes down and just lays it in. Looks like he pinched something in his ankle. Trainer looking at him, but he's going to be all right.
Red, you were so right earlier tonight when you talked about the fact Cavaliers gave up Mark Price, a very talented point guard, and a big part of what they were doing here offensively for this young man, Terrell Brandon. They've nurtured him along for a couple of years coming off the bench, and he has blossomed into an all-star guard for the Cavaliers. Terrell Brandon.
Well, they've made big decisions twice. They didn't think Kevin Johnson was their point guard, and they turned it over to Mark Price. And then when Mark Price slipped a little bit with some injuries, they turned it to Terrell Brandon. They seem to be on the money.
Phil's running off the wing, got the open shot, but could not convert. Chris Mills hustled the board. Cavaliers reload the offense. Coming up on 5 minutes to go, third quarter.
Pip down on West now.
And they're going to try to get it to West in the mismatch, but Pippen playing good post defense, fronting him on the post. Finally, they go to West. Pippen from behind commits the foul. Boy, that was a fine defensive battle by Pippen down low against Mark West. Watch it again. second thought. Here we go.
Pip just trying to stay in the front of Mark West and doesn't let him just back in.
Mills. Bobby Phills has it on the block against Michael Jordan. They clear it out for him. Now watch the cutters. Chris Mills, the hanging jumper. Again, he tries. Longley rebound. Randy Brown out on the run. Over Brandon. Luke for the rebound. And the Bulls reload with 4.5 minutes to go in the third. Michael finds Randy Brown, kicks it back outside to Luke Longley. It'll belong to Cleveland off the turnover. 52-44 Chicago. Bobby Phills right back to work. Terrell Brandon out front. 10 to go on the shot clock, Cleveland. Pippen knocked it away. It'll belong to Cleveland with 6 to go on the shot clock. Average time of possession. This is per possession. How many seconds it takes to get off a shot.
Cleveland pushing the 14-second, Mike. Here's why a fast break points.
That kind of throws things off a little bit.
4 seconds.
Time winding down. Tyrone Hill with a scoop. Nicely done. 11 for Hill. And again, the Chicago lead down to 6. Danny Ferry is reported on for the Cavaliers. Here's Scottie Pippen. Michael with 10 to go on the shot clock. Randy Brown trying to feed Luke Longley. Knocked out of bounds with 4 to go on the shot clock.
All right, 4 seconds on the clock. Does everybody know it? I think they do.
Steve Kerr up off the bench reports on. They'd like to get him perhaps a quick shot off this inbound. He comes in for Randy Brown.
Randy, nice job. 6 points in this quarter. He equalized what all headed for the All-Star game. Terrell Brandon did 6.
Kukoc on the weave. That's going to be a penalty violation. Yeah, call his own pass. Tony got a little too deep that time, John, and just didn't have any options. The turnovers now beginning to pile up on the Bulls in this ball game. They've committed 15 turnovers already. Offensive foul coming up here.
And Tyrone Hill, his second offensive foul of the night. He moved out to try to get Steve Kerr.
No team foul.
And he says, I didn't agree with it. He's making a hill out of a molehill. Something like that.
Realize you have a mole. You're very observant. Here's the steal in the post by Tyrone Hill. Been a sloppy performance tonight for the Bulls in some respects. Danny Ferry for 3. Steve Kerr on the move. His 3 attempt.
He's off. Mike with the rebound. Let's see what they do. Michael goes up.
Got a foul coming up. Terrell Brandon is down once again for the Cavaliers, but he's not hurt. He's laughing. I think he's laughing that Michael faked him out of his trunks for a moment and getting that baseline move. 2:52 to go, third quarter. Bulls still lead by 6.
Sergeant.
Wayne Larrabee, Johnny Red Kerr back in Cleveland, 52-46. Bulls on top. The Cavaliers, over the course of the last 5 seasons, take a look at it. Their opponents get fewer and fewer points a game. The 88.5 is a post-shot clock period low in NBA history. This season, it's up a little bit at 86.3. But earlier this year, they held Orlando to just 57 points. Michael Jordan in the first half, not bad, but yet to scratch here in the second half. As a matter of fact, the Bulls have just 8 points in the third quarter. But the good news on the other side of that coin, the Cavaliers only have 10 in the third quarter thus far. Better than 9 minutes gone by, third quarter. Scottie Pippen the turnaround.
He knocks the turnaround down. He's got 13. Bulls with 10 points now in this quarter.
Chicago's lead again is 8. Ferry. Travel as he backed in on Tony Kukoc. So the turnover Cavaliers gives it back to the Bulls, who have an opportunity to put a double-digit lead on the board once again.
Michael sits down. Ron Harper comes in for him.
This has not been a pretty ball game, has it?
Never is when you play these guys. They play pretty good defense too. They cover the wings. They front the center. A lot of perimeter stuff here.
Harper to Kukoc. 10 to go on the shot clock. Entry feed to Luke Longley. Denied on the block down low. I believe that was Bills who helped out on that block.
2 minutes. Less than 2 minutes remaining.
Bobby Sura with less than 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. Ferry right back to Sura. Loads and fires a 3. Longley the rebound. Bulls have dominated the board since the second quarter. Since the first quarter, I should say.
Sura, Pip. Did they double? Yep, they got a man here.
Well, they had Bobby Phills in no man's land. Tony for Tharpo.
Where's it been, Tony? He gets it back tonight. And he'll do nothing. Just get the ball back. Tony with 9.
Tony, who's been struggling the last couple of games, had just 6 points the other night against the Knicks. But here tonight, 9 points off the bench for Tony Kukoc. Actually, I should correct myself. Tony did not start. He did start tonight. Chris Mills answers. 57 to 49. Pippen. Coming up with a minute left to go in the quarter. Harper for 3.
Welcome back, Ronnie Harper. So 2 threes from the Bulls and 1 from Mills has picked the pace of this game up a little bit.
Under a minute to go in this third quarter. Terrell Brandon to the follow-away. 19 for Brandon.
Flirting right around his average.
Coming up with 35 seconds to go. Third quarter. Tony, nice move to the left hand. Danny Ferry rebounds. Here comes Bobby Sura. 2-pointer and a long deuce for Bobby Phills. 11 for Phills. The Cavaliers closing the gap down to 7. Longley has to come way outside to take that pass.
Oh, the offensive foul. He ran over. Pitt was trying to clear. Not a strong night for Longley. He hasn't scored. He's had a couple of fouls, 0 for 6.
Longley does have 7 rebounds and 4 assists, and he picks up his second personal foul. 6.3 seconds remaining in the third quarter. The Bulls leading by 7.
There's 1 to give, Phil said.
Here comes Brandon. I don't think that's the one he wanted to give. I think he wanted a foul, as you mentioned.
Sure, that was 2.
Terrell Brandon's jumper gives him 21 points for the night. The Cavaliers, heading to the fourth quarter, trail the Bulls by just 5, 60 to 55.
Excuse me.
Welcome back. The Bulls lead the Cavs 60 to 55. Here is Red with tonight's Ameritech playbook. Red?
Okay, let's take a look here at the defense that the Bulls are playing. They said let them have the outside shot, but try to get the center position. Try to make sure you get the rebound. And here they do. Bobby Ferry kicks it out. Bob Sura with a long shot. Luke Longley looks to block his man out, then goes up to get the rebound. So the Bulls do pretty much what they wanted to do, and so does Ameritech playbook.
20,562 in attendance here tonight. A sellout. Off the bench, the Bulls 13 points in 44 minutes played. The Cavaliers no points in 30 minutes played off the bench tonight. for Cleveland. Donnie Marshall. There's a look at the bench situation as it pertains to the starters for the Cavaliers, who've scored all of their points. Only 4 Cavaliers have scored here tonight. The Bulls, Harper and Pippen on the floor. Scotty gets the step down the lane and an offensive foul.
Look, he has not been a good fan of Scotty, of Woody Mayfield tonight. Pippen picks up the foul, his 3rd foul, 1st offensive foul for him. They don't block a lot of shots, but they get in your way a lot.
Bobby Sura sets it up for Cleveland. Opening minute in this, the 4th quarter. Brandon. Sura change of direction to the lane. The open man is Danny Ferry. Michael rebounds at the baseline. Harper sets up a triangle on the right. They go over the top to Jason Caffey inside on Danny Ferry. Caffey's first field goal. He has 3 points in the game. Brandon with the set up for the play to Bobby Sura. And again they get Ferry open on the wing.
Gets the 3. That's the first guy off the bench to score for them, and it's Ferry with a 3-pointer. He closes the lead to 4.
Scottie Pippen. Michael gets the step. For the jam, a buggy whip. Michael.
Space Jam. Michael's first 2 points of the second half. He's got 20 and a hammer down. Explosion off the baseline.
On the drive, Sura gets to the lane. Offensive foul.
Yes, sir. So they catch Pip in the 1, and Pip turns around and does it the other way.
Miller Lite scoreboard. Toronto trailing Miami. Orlando's up on Milwaukee in the 4th. New York leads Indianapolis in the 4th quarter. Houston on top of Jersey. Caffey down low, blocked by Ferry, but a foul.
Pip going to the basket again and getting a good attempt for Danny Ferry. Ferry picks up his 2nd first-team foul.
Jason Caffey to shoot 2.
Jason Caffey gets to the free throw strike. Where tonight he's 1 out of 2.
Well, he could give him a lift like Wennington did in that 2nd quarter. Billy got him 7 points, and Jason Caffey.
And he makes good on the first. Hey, if you're planning to attend an upcoming Bulls home game, play the 50-50 raffle. In each game, representatives from Charitables will be selling raffle tickets throughout the concourse for a chance to win a cash prize. Almost 2 minutes gone by, 4th quarter. Caffey nails a pair at the line. He has 5 points tonight, 4 of which have come here in the 4th quarter, and the Bulls lead is 8. Brandon, Bobby Sura, the backcourt for the Cavaliers. Ferry and Mills screen up high on each side of the lane. Donnie Marshall completes the quintet on the floor for Mike Fratello in this 4th quarter tonight. Brandon double pump. Scottie Pippen, and got a loose ball foul coming up on Donnie Marshall. Pippen had possession of the play. Donnie Marshall's first.
They played that outside very well. Team 2nd foul. They played that very well outside, not to give him the real open shot. And Terrell Brandon had to take his shot with guys stabbing at him.
Jason Caffey goes to work on Danny Ferry. Now Scottie Pippen.
Swing the ball, says Tex.
Michael. They had to take it away by Marshall. 10 to go on the shot clock. Michael.
Bobby Sura tried to take the offensive foul. I think he got a foot in the head. Holy mackerel.
We have seen vintage Michael Jordan on his last 2 field goal attempts. Watch this. Donnie Marshall, number 1, he goes by, and now the hammer.
Do you have what it takes to ride the Metro? Brace yourself for an adrenaline rush. Action.
On tonight's Discover Card Payback Playback in May 1989, Michael Jordan hit the most famous shot in Bulls history when he nailed his jumper over Craig Elo and the Cleveland Cavaliers as time ran out to win Game 5 of the NBA playoffs. Michael Jordan tonight, well, he's matched his number with 23 points on what? The 23rd of January,
yes.
The 23rd home game of the season for the Cavaliers. And take a look at his earlier jam.
That was one from the left side. Then he pumped it the second one. Most points scored by a Cavs opponent. Michael right there at top, 69, 55, 54. And then you go to a center, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Cavaliers resume offensively. Bobby Phills with a step on the three-point line, just a foot on the three-point line, off the mark. And it halfway down, it would not stay. And Michael Jordan now against Marshall. Oh, good look, Jason Caffey. Scotty to Steve Kerr for three. Jason. Oh, Michael. I think it was Scotty, wasn't it? Jason Caffey, you're right.
Caffey gives him that lift, as I said. Bill Wennington did in the second quarter. He got 7 here. And he's bigger and physical. He's as big and physical as anybody out there. He should be able to. Michael Jordan going hard to the boards now. They've all folded back to do the job.
Michael to the lane, makes the up fake on Marshall and draws the foul. Donnie Marshall with his second personal, third on the team.
Fouls on Donnie Marshall, his second.
Starting to make them pay on the rebounding, and the Bulls are 41 rebounds. They've got 22.
Michael Jordan
to the line with 23 points. Marshall picks up foul 2.
And remember, Cleveland had a 9-8 lead on the boards at the end of the first quarter. So the Bulls have been dominant in that area since. Michael misses his first free throw of the night. Charitable sends out a big thank you to the Chicago Board of Trade, who donates $5 for every Bulls assist, and to the James River Corporation, who donates $50 for every Bulls three-point shot. Michael by quarter took a pass in that third. 24 in the game for Jordan. And once again, John, you point out the rebounding factor, but also the bench play. The Bulls just perhaps arguably the best bench in the NBA. And they continue to do it well night in, night out. They've been dominant off the bench tonight. 7 to go on the shot clock. Ferry trying to back Pippen. Got a piece of it. The steal.
Pip really went after, took that ball, and he said, looked at Ferry like, was that a tackle or what?
Yeah, it was a takedown. Yeah. In the WWF, that'd be a takedown. Ferry, his third personal, 4 on the team. Coming up on 8 minutes to go in the game. Bulls trying to grab control here. They lead by 13, their biggest lead of the night. Michael. Danny Ferry finally clears for the Cavaliers. Terrell Brandon. Double team from Scottie Pippen. Brandon throws it to no one in particular, and Danny Ferry cannot save it.
That was when you couldn't even call a timeout.
No.
Trying to do it. I just looked at this. It's unusual. Michael doesn't have an assist in this game, does he? Have one up there? Not yet.
Not yet.
No.
So what you're telling me is he's a long way from the triple-double, huh? Yeah. He gives up that possession to Chris Mills on the drive, and a foul coming up. Foul is on Ron Harper, who got a piece of it on the drive.
Michael Jordan knocked Harper into him on this play. Now here's the steal. Harp knocks it out of his hands. It looked like a running back that missed the handoff. And then coming on down here, Harp's going to get bumped by Michael right here on the play.
And Chris Mills at the free throw strike. He has 13 points. Mills at Los Angeles against the Clippers had 22 points in that double overtime ball game as Mike Fratello talks with Terrell Brandon, his floor leader. Tony Kukoc is into the lineup, replacing Scottie Pippen. Pippen re-injured his left ankle in that New York Knicks game the other night. He's taking some treatment this morning. And Mills makes good on a pair, 14 points. Bulls by 11. Just under 7.5 to go. Fourth quarter. Caffey to Jordan. Got a foul coming up. Michael made the turn and Bobby Phills reached in. And the foul on Phils is his third. His team over the limit.
Good look by Jason Caffey. Michael's got him down low. He makes one move to the outside and gets hit across the body. So Michael to the free throw line, 24 points. Coming off a 15-1 point effort against the Knicks.
25. Michael, the last time these two teams played, had an outstanding night at the line. 19 of 20 from the free throw line in that game at the United Center on December 28th.
He had 45 that night. Did a great job. A little vendetta. Michael comes out on the court when Van Gundy said that he thought Michael did a con job on some of these players. Michael said, "How did you like that con job?"
Bulls with pressure in the backcourt.
And it's Bulls ball.
Yeah, the Cavaliers give it up. Tyrone Hill on the turnover. Well, Mike Fratello does not have an answer for this right now.
No.
It should be pointed out, Red, that in the fourth quarter, the Cavs are not a big comeback team. Kerr from the outside. Kukoc rebounds. Cleveland was 5 and 28 last season when trailing or tied entering the fourth quarter. They were trailing here tonight coming into the fourth. Tony looking backdoor first on the drive, had it kicked. I don't know if they've got a foul on this. Apparently they do.
Well, he'll shoot two anyway because
Donnie Marshall picks up his third foul.
Team is over the limit.
Bob Sura back for the Cavs.
Good fake by Tony. And Donnie Marshall just grabbed him.
So Tony back at the free throw line where he's 2 for 2 tonight. Hey fans, pick up your Bulls fan appreciation card to the Bulls game February 16th. This valuable card is a great way to save. Brought to you in part by Fantastic Sam's, Jiffy Lube, Nancy's Pizzeria, Mike Meineke Discount Mufflers, General Nutrition Centers, Avis Rent-A-Car, Flamingo Surprise, and Phillips Florals. Tony buries a parry, has 11 points in the game, and the Bulls lead is 15, biggest of the night. Terrell Brandon, double team from Kukoc. Chris Mills swings loose of Harper, nothing but net. Fine shot by Chris Mills, he has 16 in the game. 6.5 to go from Gund Arena in Cleveland, Ohio. Bulls by 13. Jackson wanted Jason and Caffey to make a move. Tony Kukoc stymied for a moment. 4 to go on the shot clock. Jason baseline. The feed. Jordan gets it. Counts. My goodness.
When you play around under the basket like that with that many passes, normally he's going to get a 3-second violation. That was almost a 24-second violation, but Michael beat the clock to give the Bulls a 15-point lead.
Brandon pitches to Mills for 3. Michael chased by Bobby Phils, picked up by Bobby Sura. Bulls leading 77-62. They cleared it out for Michael. And now they've got an illegal. No, wait, they got a foul called here, but the Bulls wanted initially an illegal defense called on the Cavaliers.
So Sura picks up the foul. Michael will go to the free throw line to shoot 2. That's the first time I've seen in a long time the Bulls offense come down and everybody go over to the left side and Michael clear out the side. Here he is.
Michael Jordan at the line.
See, he wants an illegal defense called, and then Sura reaches out on him. So actually, Michael comes out with a better alternative. He gets 2 shots at the free throw line instead of 1. Michael now with 29 points. He leads the NBA in scoring at almost 31 points a game. Bulls trying to go 16-4 on the road. 30 for Jordan. Danny Ferry's sucking his thumb.
Well, we're going to get him a blanket there. Oh,
gonna say.
I played with his dad. Bob Ferry was quite a center. Played with the St. Louis Hawks and the old St. Louis Hawks, and then the Baltimore Bullets.
You played with him in Baltimore, right?
Yeah.
5 to go on the shot clock for Cleveland now. Bobby Sura, Bobby Phils. He's not going to get a shot off in time. Nope.
The Bulls put the clamps out that time, and remember Johnny Bach used to call. He turns loose the Dobermans, and they just did it that time.
I'll tell you what, the Cavaliers have been frustrated at every turn in this second half by the Bulls for the most part.
Their heads are down. They're holding the hems of their pants. That shows they're a little bit tired. And the Bulls have made them work offensively. Not just to take some time off the 24-second clock, but to really make them work.
Jordan. Oh, Michael, tough shot, comes up short, but Kukoc collects. 13 for Tony Kukoc. Got a timeout called on the floor by the Cleveland Cavaliers. Well, Jordan and company have frustrated this homestanding Cleveland crowd and a team. Bulls starting to pull away, 81-62 in the fourth.
What is a low fare, really?
Take a look at how the Bulls have applied the clamps. Cleveland did not reach 20 points in either the second or third quarters, and they're probably not going to get there in the fourth. And the Dobermans were released on this play, right?
All right, watch Tony playing Sura real tough, and he gets help from Michael. Now Michael spots out in the corner, and the clock is going down. The clock is going down. Jason Caffey's going to step in to move. Tony tries to help out there. The clock goes off, but you talk about turning the defense loose. They certainly did it that time.
And talk about, again, lowest points per game allowed. Cleveland second to Detroit. The Bulls are fifth overall.
Potapenko in the game.
Vitaly Potapenko out of Wright State. Cavaliers on the attack. 4.5 minutes to go. Vitaly with the shot.
He hit the clock.
Yes, he did.
Out of bounds.
You can use any part of the board up there for your hook shot, but you can't use the clock.
And John, you know, the Cavaliers, the limit of their scoring tonight, 4 Cavaliers have scored all but 3 of the points in the ballgame. Danny Ferry, a three-pointer off the bench, and the only bench scoring Cleveland has had tonight. Jason Caffey, the Bulls look very comfortable now as opposed to the opening minutes of the ballgame in the first quarter when they really struggled. Tony trying to thread the needle with Caffey that time, and Potapenko knocked it away. Mills loose for 3. Cavs have had some good looks out of the arc, Red, but they have not been consistent whatsoever in their three-point shooting tonight.
No, sir. Over the top. Couldn't handle it, so another turnover.
Tony upset with himself on that pass. He thought he had the needle threaded.
But he couldn't get in.
Scotty waiting to come in, as you mentioned. Bobby Sura sets it up for the Cavaliers. They try to get Phils loose off a double screen at the baseline. The tip by Chris Mills. He has 18 points. For what Chris Mills does in his role on this ball club, he's played pretty well here tonight. Terrell Brandon has played well, but only in streaks.
They're just a short team. They're good outside, but foul on Mills.
Yeah, Mills trying to deny the interior feed at Jordan. That's the third on Chris. Time is over the limit.
We'll shoot a couple here.
And here's another thing, Red. I think that Mike Fratello is in the 4th year of his program here. Each year he's run essentially the same type of slowdown type game, and I think teams are adjusting to it. Does a certain amount of that happen over the course of year to year?
I think so. I sure think so. You know, the Bulls with 72-10 record. There's only 2 teams in the league now, and we're not to the halfway point, that can do what the Bulls did last year. The Bulls are one of them, and Houston is the other one. But the Houston Rockets have lost 10 games. They would have to go undefeated for the rest of the year to tie the Bulls record last year. That's really something.
Kind of puts in perspective what the Bulls accomplished last year.
What they did, that's right. Everybody had a chance to do it.
83-64. Bulls in command, and the sellout crowd, many of them heading to the exits. Chris Mills. Michael commits the foul. Second personal on Michael, only the second of the team. Pippen back into the lineup. Pip is close to a triple-double now. He has 13 points, 8 assists, and 11 rebounds. If you're planning to attend an upcoming Bulls home game, play the 50-50 raffle. At each game, representatives from Charitables will be selling raffle tickets throughout the concourse for a chance to win a cash prize. Play 50-50 for your chance at Big Cash.
I think Bobby Phil was the only guy that missed a free throw tonight, didn't he? They are shooting lights out from there.
For Cleveland?
12 for 13.
You're right. He missed that early in the first quarter. 20 now for Chris Mills. Fact is, though, Red, they're not getting to the free throw line a whole lot.
The Bulls are sort of allowing that outside shot, and you don't get to the free throw line shooting there.
Tony out on the floor. A long deuce attempt. Here comes Bob Sura. Danny Ferry with a pull-up for three. Ring it up.
Come on, let's play, Fair Hollers. That's Danny's second three. He's got 6 in this quarter. The only points off the bench for them.
Under 2.5 minutes to go in the game. Scottie Pippen. 8 to go on the shot clock. Down to 5. Pip with a quick turn for 3. Jason Caffey the offensive rebound. That time he got it over Potapenko. Harper flips it to Kukoc, trying to steer it, and he knocked it out of bounds. So Tony in traffic. Harper lost his balance trying to save it.
Cavaliers, number 21.
Minute 56 to go in the game, and Antonio Lang is into the lineup for Cleveland. His claim to fame was that as a basketball player at Duke University, he was Grant Hill's roommate. Reggie Geary with the basketball. He also just checked in for Cleveland off the screen by Potapenko. Geary. Harper couldn't control the rebound. Danny Ferry finally does. Geary, nice look. Bobby Sura gets baseline on the drive. Did not finish. Jason Caffey the rebound. Boy, that ball's slopping around out there. Richie Brown finally tracked it on down. Randy backdoor from Pippen off the glass. Danny Ferry. 83-69 Bulls, and Bobby Sura to the left hand. Scottie Pippen. The Bulls about to go 36-5. Judd Bushler. Scottie double team down low, finds Jason Caffey, who was fouled intentionally by Antonio Lang. It's the first on
Antonio Lang's first foul.
56 seconds to go with the Bulls on top, 83-69. Michael Jordan on the bench with 32 points. Jason Caffey has had a nice fourth quarter now with 7 points in the fourth quarter, 8 for the game. Last game below 70, well, against the Spurs when they were held to 68 points.
How about this? Pip with 4 points in his quarter, and Jason with 8, and then Michael with the rest of them, and now 9 for Jason Caffey.
Jason Caffey did not start here tonight. Reggie Geary sets it up. Danny Ferry just beyond the reach of Judd Bushler. Danny Ferry now with 8 points for the Cavaliers, all of which have come here in the fourth quarter. 85-71 Chicago. Harper to Randy Brown. Cavaliers extend their defense. Pippen backs off. 10 to go on the shot clock. Down to 25 seconds for the game. Ron Harper. Nice move. Got it off just in time. Jason Caffey rebound. Bucket.
Jason Caffey.
11 for Jason Caffey. 87-71 Bulls, and this one winding to a close. Reggie Geary. Potapenko on the block with a turnaround fake. Rebound batted. Geary for the final point of the night. Come into Cleveland, scored 90 points, yet nonetheless, due to some outstanding half-court defense, dominate the Cavaliers 87-71. For the Bulls, their record 36-5, 16-4 on the road. The Cavaliers fall to 22-18 overall. We'll be back after these messages.
Coming up next on WGN News, Bulls coach Phil Jackson speaks out for the first time about Dennis Rodman's latest stunt. Thieves break into
Bulls win tonight 87-71 here at Gund Arena. Let's go to Johnny Red Kerr with one of the unsung heroes of this ball club. Red?
Absolutely. Randy Brown, the Bulls picked him up a year ago to play defense for the Bulls. He learned the Bulls system, and now all of a sudden a bona fide player. Recently rated A on his efforts this season with the Bulls. Promoted to the starting lineup, Rodney Harper being out, Rodman's suspension. Randy, he started the last couple of games. You feel comfortable in that starting lineup now?
I'm getting there. It takes time to get used to Michael and Scotty playing with those guys. They demand a lot of energy. And, once I got to learn offense, now I got to get used to playing with those two guys. They're special.
I spent a little time with Bill Wennington last night, and I was talking about him starting when Luke was out. And he says, I feel comfortable coming off the bench. I know the guys I'm playing with and everything. So sometimes you get in there and you want to give up the ball too much to Scotty and Tony and Michael.
Sometimes when I'm out there, I do concentrate on just getting those guys the ball. But, those guys, they draw a lot of traffic down there in the lane. So I got to get ready to shoot that ball. And sometimes it's tough. I'm trying to get myself ready to spot up and shoot that jumper when MJ is going to the basket. So it takes me kind of time to get used to it, but I'm having fun.
It looks like Scotty feels comfortable giving the ball to you on a break. A lot of times he'll come down, look the other way, flip it to you, and you knock the J in.
Well, I've gained Scotty's confidence throughout the season, and he's helped me throughout the offense and everything. And I'm just playing with a lot of confidence. I feel good. The offense is coming to me, and I'm just going out and having fun.
The game you played tonight against this club, we talked a little bit about Coach Jackson's philosophy. Maybe give him a little more of the outside shot, but we got to get back to defend the boards.
The Cleveland Cavaliers play a different style of basketball. They don't do a lot of running. They do a lot of half-court offense. And we just had to play team defense tonight. We didn't care if we didn't shoot the ball well. We just wanted to play good defense and give them one shot.
Maybe a lot of people don't realize that you spent your high school career, you're a Chicagoan, you come back home, and now a lot of people say, I'm a big buddy of Randy's. I remember him. Now that you're making your niche with the Bulls, you've got a lot of fan support here in Chicago.
That's good. I've worked hard. The people that know me know I work hard throughout the summer to get myself in a position. And I'm just having fun. Throughout the training camp, I want to feel the game, gain that confidence in me to have me out on the floor. And he feels I can go out and do the job, and I'm going out having fun.
Your brother Alan's daughter had a birthday yesterday. She was at the game. You made her proud by starting.
That's great. I didn't know it was her birthday, so I'm sorry, but we got it through.
Okay, thanks, Randy, for visiting with me. Let you get to the locker room. Let's go back to Wayne.
Thank you very much, Red Kerr. Take a look at the final numbers for tonight. And again, the Cavaliers had a slight edge on the boards at the end of one quarter, but the Bulls dominated thereafter. And, of course, we talked about it all night, a dominant performance for the Bulls off the bench as they continue to do well in that category. Now have outscored 8 of their last 10 opponents off the bench. And in general, the Bulls bench normally averages over 30 points per ball game. Here tonight, certainly 23 points, more than enough to get the job done. All 8 points off the Cavalier bench were scored by Danny Ferry. The Bulls win tonight despite 42% shooting from the field, despite 22 turnovers in the ball game. They do it because they defend. 39% shooting for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Cavs did take advantage of their free throws, but didn't get to the line a whole lot. And again, the Bulls do an outstanding job with the 19 offensive rebounds, leading to 23 second chance points. This was a first chance point for Michael Jordan. Vintage Jordan with the hammer at the baseline, highlighting the Bulls' victory over the Cavs.
This February.
Our Southwest Airlines high-flying scorer tonight, Michael Jordan, with 32 points to lead everybody, 9 rebounds, 10 for 24 from the field. Once again, the final score, the Chicago Bulls 87, the Cleveland Cavaliers 71. Our next telecast for Chicago area viewers will be February 4th when the Bulls visit the Portland Trailblazers. Our coverage begins at 9 p.m. Central Time. Our next telecast for Superstation viewers will be February 27th when the Bulls return to Cleveland for a rematch with the Cavaliers. Our broadcast begins at 6:30 p.m. Central Time. Tonight's game was produced by John Walgren, directed by Skip Ellison. The associate producer is Mandy Cohen, and our graphics operator, Mark Stencil. The executive producer of WGN Sports is Bill Borson. For Johnny Red Kerr, Wayne Larrabee saying so long from Gund Arena. And a reminder, stay tuned for WGN News coming up next.
Chicago Bulls basketball, brought to you by Miller Lite. With the great taste of an ice-cold Miller Lite, life is good. Your local Ford dealer. See your favorite Ford dealer today and see why there's more to afford. McDonald's of Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana. Have you had your break today? Electric Avenue, Montgomery Ward, where you'll find great brands at great prices. Ameritech, your link to better communication. Toyota and their full line of quality cars and trucks. And by Southwest Airlines, with fares so low, you'll have the freedom to go places.
This is Chicago's very own WGN News at 9.
Lost 7 of 8 coming in. Orlando Pace, the future first-round pick of the NFL, and former Ohio State defensive lineman. Watching a rarity, the Cavaliers running? Bobby Phills from Terrell Brandon. The Cavs going up 20-9. Back from the Bulls, Tony Kukoc, Bill Winnington, 13-0 run. Bulls up by 8 at halftime and never looked back. Scottie Pippen, 13 points to go with 8 assists. Michael Jordan coming out the 51-point performance against the Knicks. Only 32 tonight. Take that, Bob Sura. The Bulls didn't miss Dennis Rodman in this one, out-rebounding the Cavs 49-28 to make up for 22 Chicago turnovers.
On the bench. On Tuesday, the reserves were announced for the February 9th clash in Cleveland, and heading up the best of the rest for the West is the Lakers center who was a starter for the Eastern Conference's first 4 years in the league, but he was with Orlando. Karl Malone was named to the team for the 10th time, same for Clyde Drexler. The T-Wolves' Tom Gugliotta and the Lakers' Eddie Jones will be playing in their very first All-Star games. Heading up the East subs, the dynamic duo from Miami, Alonzo Mourning and Tim Hardaway, and a pair of high-flying Hawks, Dikembe Mutombo and Christian Laettner. The latter is the lone first-timer on the East squad. Now, as always is the case, some deserving players will spend the break at home. Reggie Miller leads the league in three-pointers.
Win, keep looking. Tony Kukoc, no. Michael Jordan, show you right. MJ's only offensive board, Bulls up 10 early. Second quarter, Jordan takes Blue Edwards to school. You know, Blue's got to write on the blackboard 100 times and we'll play better defense. Late in the half, he didn't do his homework or write his thesis paper. Blue gets played by MJ. Jordan, 12 of 19 shooting, Bulls up 21 at the break. Second half, more Jordan. He says, Brian Reeves, thank you very much. MJ up the court.
4 on 3.
Straight butter. He led the Bulls with 28 points. Bulls cruise 111-96. Two teams, two different yet similar stories. Take the number 38, for instance. Bull wins, Grizzly losses. Take streaks. Bulls 4 straight wins, Grizzlies 6 straight losses.